What's up, y'all? I'm still out here at the range, as you can see back behind me on this chilly, cloudy day. Sun never has even attempted to come out today, but luckily the wind stayed pretty calm and I hadn't gotten wet out here, so I've gotten a couple really interesting tests done. I've got one more left on the agenda, and it's a battle between a couple of golden oldies. So the jelly contraption's out here hard at work with the 2 chronos and a couple of blocks of gel. Now this far block is pretty tracked up. I've got it flipped around backwards. This front one, though, completely clear other than a couple little stragglers. I think we got plenty of room without any kind of interference for this one. Heavy clothing barrier, of course, with the layer of denim, fleece, and 2 layers of cotton t-shirt. And what we got here is a couple of middleweights for their caliber. We got a couple of Hornady Critical Defense rounds. We've got the 45 ACP and the 40 Smith & Wesson. Now the 45 ACP, it's 185 grain. Velocity on the box is saying 1,000 feet per second. You can see there, brass case, got that FTX projectile with the little plug in it. And then for the 40 Smith & Wesson, this one's 165 grain, same FTX projectile. Now the box is saying 1175 on this one. You can see there, brass case, and got that insert in the projectile. Now these weights right here, in my opinion, are probably the sweet spot for both of these calibers. If I was carrying one of these, it would be in these weights. I just like that middle of the road weight. Really, in any caliber, I really do like a middle of the road kind of weight. I don't want something super light or really slow and heavy. And that especially holds true for me, at least, when you're talking about these short barrels like we're dealing with here today. So for the 40, I've got my Glock 27. This has got roughly a 3.5 inch barrel. And then for the 45, I've got the Glock 30. This has got roughly a 3.8 inch barrel. So this 45 barrel is just a little bit longer than the 40 Smith & Wesson. But I think this ought to be a good one. Hopefully both of these rounds will perform well and we'll have another good option for some short barrels. Let me get it all reset and let's see what they can do. All right, let's see how fast this stuff's moving. I'm gonna do a 5-round average from each one, starting with this 40 first. Now remember, the box is saying 1175 on this. I doubt we're gonna see it out of this 27, but hopefully we'll see at least 1100 or so. With this lab radar, like I mentioned every time, if y'all aren't familiar, you're gonna get multiple velocity readings. Your large number is right here from your muzzle, and then the 5 across the bottom. One of them is set for 3 yards, which is roughly where your gel is right here. And then you've got 10, 15, 25, and 50. Let's see what this thing does, y'all. Again, 1175 is what the box is saying. Much longer barrel, I'm sure, to get that. 1116. I said hopefully 1,000, but y'all know I meant 1100. If we hit 1,000, I'd just put this thing down. 1130, 1110, 1115. And 1114. I tell you what, this trigger, this serrated trigger, bites your finger out here when it's chilly. Let's see what that average was. All right, so definitely not 1175, but not too bad through the little shorty here. We had a 5-round average of 1117. We had an extreme spread of 20 and a standard deviation of 7.7. So pretty consistent stuff. 1117, 165 grain. That's probably enough to do what this critical defense needs to do. Let's get it reset and see what the 45 does. All right, let's see what this 45 ACP does. 5 rounds on it also. Now the box on this was saying 1,000. Again, I don't really expect to see that out of this G30. We'll see how close we get with it. 962, 971, 964, 959, and 958, so definitely not the 1,000. Let's check out the average. All right, so that time with the 45 ACP, we got a 5-round average of 963 feet per second. We had an extreme spread of 13 and a standard deviation of 5.2. So again, nice consistent stuff from both of these. 963 with a 100 and what is that, 85? I definitely would like to see it moving faster than that, but it is what it is. 185 projectile. It's probably still gonna do okay. It might get a little bit iffy though. So 963 here, and if you remember on that 40, it was 1117, so you're talking about 154 feet per second faster. Now that doesn't really mean a whole lot because it's different weight projectiles, 20 grain difference. So either way, I think that 40's got enough to do what it needs to do. The 45 I'm a little bit worried about, but I think it's gonna be okay. Let's get this stuff set up and y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, it's old timer jelly time. I'm gonna put one of each into the gel, starting with this 40. Again, I think the 40's don't do pretty good. Probably not massive expansion though, but we'll see what happens here. All right, that should have been a good one. Let me go see what I got. All right, y'all, it's looking pretty good down there, but I definitely did not expect that much penetration from the 40. So that tells me it didn't expand as much or as quickly as it probably should have. So I'm a little worried about this 45 now. Let's see what happens. Hopefully it'll do us right. All right, that should be a good one right there. Let's go see what we got. All right, let's check out what we got down here, y'all. Very surprising results, and not necessarily in a bad way, just pretty much exactly the opposite of what I expected to see. So on the top here, that's your 40 Smith & Wesson. You can tell as soon as it comes in, you get some expansion, nice disruption all the way through this first block into this second block, and that thing goes probably halfway through this second block, and you can see the projectile sitting there. It does have some expansion, it's sitting forward, but it definitely does not have near as much as I would expect it to have. And then down here towards the bottom, that's your 45 ACP. This one pretty much did what I expected the 40 to do, and the 40 did what I expected this 45 ACP to do. You can see here, comes in, nice disruption, carries on through the first block, dumps out the little insert right there. And this one here, actually a little bit of forward momentum, just barely peeks into the front, into this second block here, maybe about 1/4 of an inch into it, a little bit of rebound, and that one there, I can just tell looking at it through the gel, has definitely got more expansion, being heavier and slower than that 40 did. So again, this is totally backward from what I personally expected to see. So penetration wise, this 40 is all the way out here to 23¼ inches of penetration. I mean, it went way out here, and I can just tell it definitely does not have the expansion it should have. And in your 45 ACP, again, it's exactly 16¼ inches. So that's some beautiful looking performance from that 45 ACP. Here's your closer look again on the top 40 Smith & Wesson and the bottom 45 ACP. You can see both of them, decent disruption all the way through this first block. There's your 45 ACP sitting down there at the bottom. Looks like it's got some nice expansion. You can see it just barely pokes into that second block. And then if we go back up here to the 40, we'll follow it. Keeps on trucking, and there you see it. I mean, I don't think it's got very much expansion. Looks like it peeled the pedals back of the jacket, but that's about it. And then from the top here, same kind of deal on the top 40, bottom 45. You can see, follow it on through here, down at the bottom, that's the 45. And then if we catch this 40 again, we'll catch it right here. It goes on through there, you can see the track, and there's your projectile. All right, let's check out these projectiles. Really just more showing that it's kind of backwards what happened here in my opinion. This is the 45 ACP. As you can see, very, very nice expansion on this thing, almost all the way down to the base. Really, really nice uniform symmetrical expansion. And then here's your 40 Smith & Wesson. You didn't get much at all out of that thing. It did expand, I mean, and it opened up, but nowhere near what you were supposed to get. Now, that being said, it would still absolutely get the job done, and I'm not considering either one of these a failure, but if you're looking at which one did more of what it was designed to do, no question the 45 ACP did. But let's get some measurements and see what we got. As far as weight, I don't think they lost anything. I don't see much in the gel. This one started at 165 and it's at 164.4, so may have lost a crumb or two, hard to say. This one in the 45 ACP started at 185 and it's 184.0, so again, they both could have lost a couple little crumbs, or it could just be manufacturing tolerances. And then for the sizes, a noticeable difference here. The 40 Smith & Wesson, you got 471 and 479. And then on the 45 ACP, you got 637 and 629. So really, really nice symmetrical expansion from that one there. And there it is, y'all, some short barrel middleweight 40 Smith & Wesson and 45 ACP. Nice performance from both of these, I think. The 45 ACP, again, if you're judging judging just based on what they were supposed to do, this 45 ACP definitely came closer. Now, if you're looking at raw numbers again, this 40 Smith & Wesson still gonna have more energy, probably 60, 70 foot-pounds or so without doing the math. So if you're looking for raw energy numbers to call the winner there, the 40 Smith & Wesson takes it. If you're looking at which one performed closest to how it's designed, I'd have to say the 45 ACP got it right there. Either way though, in my opinion, I wouldn't have a problem running either one of these out of a short barrel if that's what I had. All right, y'all, that's a wrap for this critical defense test, and that's gonna do it for another batch of jelly testing. Really, my main purpose of this test right here was to find another good round to run out of the G30. I definitely found that in my opinion, but this 40 really surprised me. I didn't even think twice about the 40. I just thought it was gonna do exactly what it was supposed to do, but as you can see, again, it wasn't a failure by any means, and it would get the job done, but it definitely did not behave like it was supposed to. Unless you're one of those folks that really worry about over penetration though, in my opinion, either one of these would do a fine job. But let me know what y'all think about it down in the comments. Do any of y'all out there run one of these rounds? If you had to pick a winner based on the performance out here for whatever criteria you're gonna use, which one would it be? If you did enjoy the video, reach down and click that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and make sure you turn on your bell notifications so you get notified when I upload new stuff. Again, like I always remind you, if you're doing some shopping, check out those affiliate links in the video description. Anything you buy after hitting those links up down there, I get a kickback from them towards the channel, so I appreciate that. As always, a big thanks to all my Range Gang members and every single one of y'all for supporting the channel like y'all do. I got some really interesting stuff done out here today, and I've got a whole lot more planned, so be on the lookout for that. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.